Joe Brusuelas is with us, chief economist at RSM. Great to see you, Joe.
Good to see you too, Nicole.
So we got in some nice jobless claims today.
Yep.
We're eager for tomorrow's numbers. ADP a little weaker. What do you make of the whole picture so far?
Well, what you're going to see is a reflection of sort of the unbalanced economy here in the United States, right? In the service sector, I think you're going to see much stronger growth than what was implied by the ADP survey. Mm-hmm. For you traders out there, if you're looking at the ADP survey, they do a benchmark revision every January, and for the next couple months, whatever the ADP says, the BLS report comes in around that. But the further you get away, the larger the standard error. So I would tend to ignore that portion of the ADP. Where the ISM and the ADP did line up is a weak manufacturing. You'll see probably somewhat of a rebound in manufacturing hiring, just due to the auto workers coming back and a little bit in goods production. But you still aren't going to see much deviation from what we've seen over the past several months.
So I want to delve into the numbers and what goes on in all things labor, but just a quick thought on the services versus manufacturing. I mean, manufacturing has obviously been weak, and we all know it. We've all seen it. We got in some services numbers this week, the ISM non-manufacturing. Also just, it doesn't feel stellar. I mean, we're still seeing expansion, but we're not. What would really be bad is if, we have the death of the services and the consumer.
Yeah, that's not happening. Okay, that's just not going to happen. This is where economists make your money on Wall Street. That top line does reflect slower growth in the overall U.S. economy, but once you sort of dug into the numbers, it implied an acceleration in service sector hiring during the month of November, which is why I'm at 165, which is well over 100,000 away from what the ADP says.
I see. Okay, so let's get into some of the numbers for tomorrow's report. 3.6% is where people are expecting unemployment to sit. That's still roughly around a 50-year low. What are your numbers? What are your breakdown, do you think?
Okay, so total change in unemployment of 165,000. That's in line with the average monthly gain of 170,000 this year. Unemployment rate unchanged at 3.6%. The average hourly earnings up 0.3%, pegged right at 3% on a year ago basis. What we want to do is we want to look at, again, inside goods producing and manufacturing, because that's where the weak parts are. And then we also want to look at average hours worked. One of the sort of unfortunate things here, average hour worked in manufacturing has trailed off, and that's what you would expect to see when you have a trade conflict. But if aggregate hours stays right where it is, increasing about 1.8% a year, that bodes well for the consumer holidays.
And we're really looking for this wage growth. I mean, we're around 3% year over year.
That's right.
We dipped below that briefly. It was sort of a relief to get back to
We had a real slowdown this summer.
It made me feel better when we finally got back to 3% growth year over year. So are you expecting to have wage growth likely stay near that trend?
Yeah, hey, look, everybody, enjoy the holidays. The economy's not going to go into recession as long as you got 3% wage growth and household consumption around 2.5% or 2 to 2.5%. It might not be the growth you write home about. It's certainly going to be just a little bit below 2. But hey, that's the long-term trend of the United States economy right now, and that's a good thing.
I mean, and it's very obvious where the jobs are and aren't.
Yeah.
We talk about college and whether or not college is worth it. And so many young folks who come out of college with so much debt and no job. And so there was actually a write-up about some of the jobs that do better, and many of them happen to be in the STEM area.
Well, that's right.
Does that surprise you?
No, not at all.
As a matter of fact, here they are. These are the most regretted colleges. I took this, and I can't believe I took this. English, sciences with no degree in any particular science, education, social sciences, I think communications was on there as well. A little just too vague and too wide. And then you have the ones that did better, and then those were the more high-paying ones, which also included computer science and math, business, engineering, and health administration. So when we talk about what goes on in the economy, and I love this report, especially for the younger folks, what to take so that you can make some money.
So here's the deal. We have two separate economies. We have a traditional economy that's largely organized around agriculture, manufacturing, energy and mining extraction, and construction. The other economy, this is the economy that's booming. This is the 60% of the country. Life sciences, advanced technology, anything that has to do with math or the hard sciences, you're going to be posed to do very well. Even in the social sciences, like what I do, economics, if you can do rounds of programming, coding, and mathematics and become a real data scientist, you're employable the day you walk off campus. There's not enough of you being graduated right now to fill the demand in the economy.
Right.
Just let me give you a good example here. Who would have ever thought of cloud computing engineers just 5 years ago? I mean, we don't even track those jobs. Or user exchange. In 2017, that was the #1 job. They don't track those over the BLS. We've got this whole area of the economy that's just doing just fine if you have the skill sets. Hey, look, you know why college is expensive? It's because it's worth it. But you have to have a foundation of critical thinking, good analytical abilities, science and math. If you're not doing that, I'm sorry, you're just not doing it right.
Right, and you have to be willing to work.
That's right.
And work hard.
Yeah.
All right, Joe Brusuelas, great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Chief Economist at RSM. Great glimpse into tomorrow, too, where you expect some solid numbers.